All right. We are live on YouTube. What's up, Jeremy Forcier?
What is up, Mr. Savage? How you doing?
Good, brother. So you put a post, again, you've been putting some really good posts. You and Dan Keller did a realtor mastermind and you put that in the mortgage coach community. Thank you, dude. That was badass leadership. You've been sending some just great messages to your team and just putting the right advice and the right leadership in their hands. And you posted in the Mortgage Coach Facebook group, was it yesterday where you said be the content?
I think it was a couple days ago. Yeah.
Okay, so let's say 2 days ago. And it was 1 minute, guys. Just listen to it because it was from the heart. It was in the moment. And I thought it was great. But I also thought it was incomplete. Like it was 1 minute and we're going to go for 20 minutes. Jeremy has another meeting in 20 minutes. So we have a hard stop. We're going to try to get some interaction around this. And let's expand on it. So Jeremy, first of all, why don't you redo that minute only 2 days later, what you want to say, and then I want to have you unpack it, and then let's you and I go back and forth on it.
Sure. So the rant, and it was a thought, and the thought evolved from a place of I've been posting much more than usual, okay, on social media with my team, etc. About here's what I'm doing, right? Here's what I'm saying. Here's a script. Here's an email template you can use. Here's a recording of a webinar that I just did with 27 Agent. Here. So I've been trying to push out a lot of content to our community, the mortgage coach community, just to help people and get them out of fear and into action, right? Of like, hey, this is not a time to wait and sit around. This is the time to be a leader. And so I've been posting a lot, and I get so many comments and messages and emails, which is awesome, of things of the nature of like, well, hey, can I have a copy of your presentation, right? Or can I know? And my response to that was like, hey, content wise, you guys, everyone's asking for like a marketing material, like a flyer, or they're asking for my PowerPoint. And I was trying to state that, listen, I don't have that and you shouldn't either, because we are the content. What I mean by that is that we are the delivery system of the content, which is just the messaging, the message, the story, the facts, the journalism that goes on within our heads that we see out in the marketplace and that we bring and get to share with other people. Is that we don't have to have a PowerPoint or a professionally done collateral piece to talk about something. We are the content. We're the vestibule. We're the transmission of what's happening to communication to people. So the rant was really about that. The message was about that. At the end of the day, you guys, we are the content. We are not a flyer that we're sticking into a box, at a real estate office right now. We literally are the content and we are the experts. And even if that means we don't know everything, we know something, and we should be talking about the something that we know about with everyone that will listen right now.
So I want to expand on this, Jeremy, because I think you even take for granted some of the things that you just take for granted. You are the content, but here's the deal. How many times a day do you create some type of a video, either on a mortgage coach TCA or use COVID, right? Or BombBomb, or what do you use?
Yeah, I use COVID.
COVID.
No
So
pun intended.
yeah, right. How many times a day are you creating one of those videos to personally communicate with a family their options or some type of leadership? How many times a day are you doing that?
Multiple. Sometimes
How many?
maybe 3 minimum, and sometimes 12, 15 in a day.
Yeah. So first of all, he's creating content.
Yeah.
You are powered, like you are all human. Anybody that ever meets you, it's like you're super present, you're witty, you're funny, you're sharp, but you've given a lot of people more than a loan. You've given a lot of people advice. How many times are you doing a TCA every day?
Wow, right now, a lot. I mean, I'm almost double digit every day. So let's call it 7 a day on average.
So 7 to 10 times a day, he's doing a TCA. Guys, that's content. And when I was listening to that, I'm like, what people don't realize is, and you don't even realize, like you're saying that, but you're like the bionic man, Steve Austin. I know when I called you that day, you're like, you are doing these things that allows you to be content. Most loan officers think content is a Facebook video, or they think content is a PowerPoint, or they think content is someone else's article and forwarding it. And here's the other thing that you don't realize, Jeremy, is that you do take other people's article. Like I saw you read something that Renee Rodriguez did, and you put a minute of your own content on it, you framed it, and then you delivered it. So it's like, even when you take someone else's content, and that was content, you're putting your personality on it and framing it, right?
That is correct. I mean, at the end of the day, and that's what I don't want anyone to miss, and is that you can take other people's content and share it, but you have to critically think about it of like, what does that mean to you and how can you use it?
Hey there, Garrett and Vanessa.
Sorry about that, brother. I was getting ready to pull something up.
You're pulling me up.
I'm pulling you up. I'm getting ready because I want to make sure people connect the dots on this. And it's never been more important that you are the content.
Yes.
You've never, like, families. I interviewed Dr. JJ Peterson, a doctorate in narrative marketing. And here's a guy who's dedicated his whole life to narrative marketing. And Jeremy will just say, I sell, I don't market. But you know what? His whole message was, what people need today is they need clarity. So simple, clear communications, and they need transparency. And while that is at a heightened level in these Corona times, it's always like that, guys. I mean, people always want transparency. People always want clarity. My favorite teachers in life were not the teachers that netted out, a 15-minute assignment in an hour class. My favorite teacher was the one that had an hour class and he netted it out in 5 to 10 minutes. That was my favorite teacher. So Jeremy, just walk us through. This is a TCA, and I see this as content. Walk it through from your perspective. What's the value and what are you doing here?
Sure. So this was created for a client, right, who wanted to take a look at what could their savings be right now with their current loan, which was highlighted in the first column, and then two different options. One was a 30-year fixed rate loan with a new lower interest rate, and then the other was a 30-year fixed rate loan with the same interest rate, but showing them what they could do with the savings and how much they could save over time, how much faster they could pay off their mortgage. Like what Dave is showing you is if they lowered their rate and they made their same payment they are right now, is that they're going to shave essentially, 3.1 years off of the life of their loan, which equals an unbelievable amount of money in interest saved over 15 years. It is a bunch of money they're going to save in mortgage payments in general over the life of their loan. So being able to visually show them and to walk them through that auditorily, is that even a word? But through audio, right, and video, they can see you, has a huge impact in connection. So if you're looking to make connection and be transparent. Show them literally what the savings is. Show them how much wealthier they're going to become if they follow this strategy, and walk them through it one step at a time to make sure it's clear and that they understand what the benefit is of working with someone like you.
And so Jeremy can say, like, when he says you're the content, it's because he is asking the client questions. He is listening. He is weaving their goal, their story into his presentation, and it's one client at a time. No, like Jeremy is on Facebook, and you can, guys, I'm not here to say you can't make money being a Facebook marketer. That's not Jeremy's model. Jeremy has spent a decade being the content, asking families great questions, delivering great advice, and packaging that in super personalized way. Same thing with real estate agents. So Jeremy, what are some other things that you think you're doing and where you are getting the content? Because let's face it, people are asking you, like, give me the content. I know you follow Renee Rodriguez, so that's content. What are some other people that you follow, or some other beacons of light and value that you're pushing into your clients right now?
Brian Covey, Mike Hardwick, um,
Steve Harney.
yeah, Steve Harney. I mean, I could go on and on with all of those superstar names, but I will tell you that a really underrated asset that we all have, you guys, is all regs. Okay, so if you don't know what all regs is, like that's where all of the guidelines get changed and posted all the time. So I'm reading more actual guideline update stuff like from my company and going into all regs, et cetera, than ever, because that's where you can really learn something. And if you want to deliver great content, you have to take time to learn. Okay. So that's the big step that I obviously don't want anyone to miss, whether that is in communicating a change that's going on in the market, or whether that is learning how to make the best total cost analysis and show people how to save money over time. You don't have to take a lot of time, but you do have to commit some time to go like, hey, I don't really know what this content should be about, or I don't know how to execute on it. All you have to do is go learn it really fast, and then be even faster to execute it. Even if you don't know everything about it, you're going to know something. And people want to be led, okay, right now on a very, very high level. Consumers, loan officers, you name it. Leadership is the name of the game. So if you can lead people down a positive path that's going to have a positive impact on them, you're going to be more valuable to them. And if you're more valuable to them, they're going to tell more people about the advice that you gave them and the content that you created and shared with them. And then you're going to just get more back in return. So if you don't know something, take the time to learn it, and then be even faster in sharing that information, because that's where the rubber hits the road at the end of the day.
So a couple other sources I want to point out, and I don't know if you ever follow this, but Mortgage Currency, Tammy Butler, great resource. Make sure you subscribe to her newsletter, All Regs, The Knowledge Coop. And by the way, Mortgage Coach community, let us know down below what are your sources of content. But the biggest takeaway of all is you need to be the content. I see so many people, even in our group, we delete a lot of stuff where a loan officer will take something that they created, they'll push into our group with no framing, delete. And by the way, that's what families are doing. You know, if you're just pushing things out, you are the most important thing. They know you, they like you, they trust you. That's why they follow you. That's why they're on the phone call with you. You need to frame it. Even Jeremy, that new feature that we came up with, and we added the Optimal Blue mortgage market information. It's amazing. So like you have content, bro. Like I was listening to you tell everybody like you are the content. Well, no, Jeremy is just very thoughtful about taking content and at the right time, in the right sequence, based off of his brain, his listening, the client's needs, putting content in their hands in a way that's valuable. Yeah. By the way, have you used that content more since we talked last?
Yes, I don't even know what it is. It showed up in Edge one day when I was working through it, and it was unbelievable. I saw a snippet of like what the average rate was over the last week or whatever it is, of locked loans, basically, right? And so when consumers were asking me like, hey, so are rates down when we're getting ready to go to docs? I'm literally showing them just by, yeah, right there. Nope, rates aren't. Actually, you're at 3.25. You know, average right now is 3.379. Snipping that, sending to them, and everyone is so grateful. They're saying, oh, thank you. We're good. Awesome. So we have content right here that you can create just by snipping this, doing a copy and paste, a little screenshot of this, embedding it into emails. It takes 3 seconds. Little things like this are so powerful in making people understand that they're okay and they can be secure in the decisions that you guys have made together.
So also I want you guys to see it. It's also in the Rate Watch app. So that same data is in the Rate Watch app. And at the very top, there's a share button. So you can take that share button and you can copy that into a clipboard, which means you can text it. You can put it anywhere. You can text it. You can email it. And by the way, you can even put that on Facebook. So everything in Mortgage Coach, like we are here to make you look smart. Like that's like when I was hearing it, it was like, oh, that's what Mortgage Coach does. We turn loan officers like Jeremy into the content because we're making you smarter and we're giving you content like this. Jeremy, by the way, did you click in on the settings yet and see the new gamification module?
Of course I did.
What did you think of that, dude?
It's incredible. It's like ridiculously fun, awesome, and it just makes you want to get to whatever the next level is that you can get to.
Yeah. So, and that's another thing, guys. You know, another takeaway just from the time I've spent with Jeremy is it's always game time for Jeremy. I mean, he is always playing a game. You know, whether he's driving his car, whether he's talking to a client or a realtor, he's got some music going as he's working. What song you got going right now, bro?
So because we're recording, I don't have any song going, but I've been playing the Smiths a lot lately.
Yeah, I got that from you last night. Thank you for that. Yeah. So again, just the thoughts I wanted to have, and I hope you guys have a takeaway, is you are the content. What he said is absolutely right, but it's only right if you are taking content and delivering it to your client, or you're not. Any other final thoughts? Because I know you just have a lot of passion. You've been creating a lot of content for your team. You've been creating a lot of content for the mortgage coach community. We got a couple minutes before you got to go. Any last words of wisdom or anything you want to drive to everybody?
Well, I would just like to challenge everyone to take the time to learn something, read an article, etc. Think about it, give your spin on it, and then share it. That helps me, okay? Selfishly, that helps me. Most of the stuff that I'm sharing are my perspectives based on something that I've read or an experience I've been through. So you should do the same thing. And then when I share it, you get to benefit from that. When you share your stuff, I get to benefit from that too, because I get to learn new perspectives and learn new things. So be open to sharing, be open to get started. Don't over prepare to do the thing that you need to be prepared for. Learn something and share it. The faster that you can start doing that, the more that you'll want to do. The feedback and the rewards will be great. And at the end of the day, we're all helping each other. So I just challenge you to create some content. You are the content as far as the distribution is concerned. Give your take on it and share it with as many people as possible.
Beautiful, guys. And create TCAs, total cost, every family. Any words, your team and the mortgage coach team, how important is a mortgage coach total cost analysis for every family in today's market?
Well, here's what I'll say. I don't know how you cannot send someone a total cost analysis. Like it's literally impossible for me. Whenever I get into some type of conversation lately with like, hey, we want to talk about the rate and we locked at this, we hear that there's no cost loans. Like when I'm just having that conversation on the phone, I almost can't even do it because it doesn't make sense. If it doesn't make sense to me, it's not going to make sense to the client. But you know what does make sense? Every time I take 5 minutes and say, you know what, let me draw up a new total cost analysis for you. I'm going to send you over a link. We can look at it together live, and then we can go through it step by step. It always makes sense. So it's the most important tool pre-COVID-19, present COVID-19, and future non-COVID-19 to make sure that you are communicating with absolute clarity and that your clients can feel good about the decision they're making.
So my last question as we wrap this up. So how many loans are you going to close this month?
Well, I'll tell you what I have projected and closed. We can circle back at the end of the month because two things. Number one is that I had my head down so hardcore for 30 plus days where I skipped 2 projection meetings. I told my team, hey, we don't need to meet right now. We need to serve as many people as possible. Okay, we have to serve as many. I'm going to keep my head down and we're going to keep going. So we had our projection meeting finally after the 3rd week, right? And we were going through it and they said, it looks like about 74 units for 35 million. And I thought that was my branch, you guys. Okay. So then they went on to the branch numbers. I went, wait, hold on. Can you say that again? Is that not the branch? And they were like, no, it looks like you're projected to close 74 units for $35 million. I couldn't believe it. It took me 3 days to even like process it. So I don't know if I'll close 74 loans, you guys. That's the reality. I don't care, quite frankly. Okay, my goal was to close 1 more loan this year than I did last year. The opportunity is much bigger than that right now. So take advantage of it. Put your head down. Don't focus on the paycheck right now. I'm going to say that again. Do not focus on the paycheck right now. Focus on how many people can I help in one day. If you do that every day for 4 weeks in a row, you will do 74 loans too. Okay, how many people can I help in one day? Don't think about the money. Just think about how many people you can help in one day, and you will wake up in a month and you'll have 10 extra, 20 extra, 30 extra, 50 extra loans because of the advice that you gave and what you were focused on.
So the question is this: if there are loan officers that are either new in the business or have less than 10 loans in their pipe, and as far as I'm concerned, it's raining loans out there, who do they call and what do they say to someone that's not a realtor? They're just mining for refis. What's the Jeremy script for the new loan officer just calling up people to give advice?
Dave, it's Jeremy Forcier, cross country. How are you?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Dude, I'm doing great, man. Hey, I have a question for you. Do you have a second?
Sure. I
Do
took the
you
phone call.
currently rent or do you own your house?
Own.
You do. Would you be interested in a mortgage review?
So that's what you're doing. Doing that. What about refi? How would you do a refi? Mine for refis.
So what do you mean mine for refis?
Oh, I got it. Like you're calling up past clients or spheres of influence looking for refi opportunities.
Okay, I was just calling you like you were a friend. Listen, you guys, here's the deal. Call all your friends first, okay? Your friends already know, like, and trust you. Call all your friends. Hey, there's an amazing opportunity. I don't know when the last time you had a mortgage checkup was, but I'd love to give you one. I don't know when the last time you had your mortgage reviewed, but I'd love to do one complimentary for you. That's first and foremost, friends and family, okay? Step two is if you're talking about mining your database, I'll be transparent because I always am. I haven't even mined my database yet, you guys. I am not kidding you. So I haven't made one outbound email or one outbound phone call, like with a list of like, I can refi all these people. I haven't got there yet. We're still in our first wave. Now, if your first wave is like, I don't have that big of a database or I don't have that many people coming to me, yes, you can escalate that. And it's really, really simple. All you want to do is pick everyone that has done a loan with you in the last 18 months first. Those are the first people that you want to call always because you're the most familiar with them. Okay, so go back the last 18 months from today, call every single one of those people and explain what is going on in the market and why there's a tremendous opportunity and there's a tremendous risk. Okay, tremendous opportunity and a tremendous risk. Dave, if I said that to you, like, hey, Dave, right now in the market, there's a tremendous opportunity, but there's also a tremendous risk. What would you say?
I'm leaning in. What's the risk?
What's the risk? That's what I wanted to point out. That's always what they're going to say. Well, what's the risk? Well, the risk right now is that we're seeing guidelines change on a daily basis, and we don't know what loans are going to look like moving forward. And that is the truth. Okay, the tremendous opportunity right now is that rates are at all-time lows, not fake marketing all-time lows. They are at literally all-time lows. What that means for you is that you might be able to pay off your house twice as fast with very little increase in your monthly payment. What that means to you is that you may be able to consolidate $40,000 of debt if you had that and eliminate it, and your mortgage payment might not go up $1. What that means for you is that you might be able to take out the cash right now to do the complete remodel that you've been thinking about for the last 4 years. And we don't know if cash out refis are going to be in existence in the next 6 months. So we have 3 different things that we can talk about with clients, you guys, of, hey, you can pay off your house twice as fast. Number 2, and this is all using the TCA. I can show you how to pay off your house faster. You've had it for 3 years. I'll show you how to pay it off in 25, 20, and 15 years and what the payments are. Okay. Number 2, if you have debt consolidation, we can eliminate $1,000 a month of payments right now. Right? We can take a look at your debt, eliminate $1,000 a month of payments and not have your mortgage go up. Number 3, that remodel that you maybe have always thought about, now is the time to harvest some of that equity and upgrade your house if you're going to live in it long term. Which one are you looking to do, Dave? Are you most interested in paying your house off in half the amount of time, consolidating some debt, or making your house your dream house?
Boom. Love it. All right, man. Well, I don't want to make you any more late to your meeting, bro. I really appreciate your time on this call, dude.
Thank you.
You have an awesome day. Guys, if you got value from this, give us a like, give it a love, share it with your mortgage friends, and all you managers out there, you need to sit down with your loan officers and you need to audit. Are they the content? Can they even make that claim? And if they're not giving videos to their clients, if they're not reading and framing what they're reading in a way that's compelling, if they're not doing a total cost analysis, you're not the content. You know, if you're not reading all regs, if you're not doing that, well, Jeremy, you said be the content. Can't do it if you aren't the content. So be the content, guys. Take care, everybody.
Bye, guys.